What's up, y'all?
What's up?
We're going to talk a little bit today, if it's all right, my girl, about long distance relationships, about some things that have helped us, some things that have hindered us, and just what we've learned along the way. I don't know what comes to mind first for you. I've got a couple of things, but what are your thoughts on it? Who should be doing a long distance and who absolutely should not be doing long distance relationships, do you think?
Well, I would recommend being in a long distance relationship to most Christians just because it is good. It will teach you some self-control, teach you some patience. I think that in my experience with Matthew being in a long distance relationship, it hasn't been an easy ride. It's been a struggle. A lot of times we've seen that in our FaceTimes, in our conversations, there there are some things that happen during our conversations that wouldn't have happened if we were in person.
Yeah, get some good Wi-Fi.
Get some good
Because how many arguments you have is about 15% of it is going to depend on that, right?
No, yeah, the Wi-Fi would get him really mad because my Wi-Fi was really, really bad where I lived. And
That's my fault, though. I shouldn't let
Okay.
something that is absolutely just out of control, control my emotions, right?
yeah, a lot of our arguments would be really silly that we wouldn't have gotten mad about in person as much.
Yeah.
But because we were on the phone, we were already frustrated by the fact that we couldn't see each other.
And also, humans do best when they're in the context of other people, usually.
Right.
And we would get too much of each other sometimes because the only time we ever talk is one-on-one. It's never in a group setting.
It's never in group settings.
Unless you
Because on
purposely...
FaceTime, it's like, hey,
It's
like,
just that, it's
not the
FaceTime.
same thing.
It's just our faces. The reason it is good, also utilize FaceTime in the dating stage, y'all. Why go on a date with a guy or a girl or a bunch of guys or a bunch of girls over the space of years when you can do most of the vetting over FaceTime? And that might not
Facts.
seem romantic, but that's the point.
facts.
Why do you need it to be romantic?
Exactly.
You don't. You need information.
Right.
Is what we try
You
to
need
get.
info. Also, just being long distance really does limit that chance to stumble. It does limit it. Of
Yeah.
course, there are long distance relationships that will still stumble.
Here's one thing I would say. If you're the type of person that does something that the person you're dating might have a problem with, and when they have a problem with it, you just tell them, well, no, it's fine because actually nothing happened, you're just being insecure, then you are too small of a person for long distance.
Yeah, to build off what he's saying, being long distance is not for the person who is going to just be thoughtless and careless about their person. Like, for example, me, I do have to, at my college campus, be very, very mindful of certain interactions and also be very truthful and tell him what did happen in my day and also ask him, does that bother you how I reacted? Because that communication is needed. Communication is number one in long distance.
Yeah, you want to set your person you're dating up for success, and you want to date, get engaged to, and marry a winner, not a loser. So you want to give them information that's going to empower them to make a good decision.
Right.
And when you keep information from them because they don't need it. Now, I'm not saying everything is profitable or beneficial to tell in every single moment. We just don't have enough time in the day. But why would I gatekeep a friendship with a female that I have and details of it and private jokes and ways I hang out with them and it's none of your business with somebody that I want to build a marriage with? You're too small probably for a relationship, but for definitely for a long distance thing. You've got to really be on your P's and Q's because at the end of the day, you want to date and then marry somebody who feels secure and feels they have the information they need to make a good decision. That's really going to be a key, and go the extra mile to honor the other person.
Right.
As much as you can. Make things obvious. If you can do the location thing, Mia has her location on, I never look at it. But if I were worried, I could look at it. You know what I mean? I could.
Yeah. He turned his off just so that he could, when he proposed to me, he didn't want me to be like seeing anything.
But it was on for like
It was on
for like 8 months,
for
and it's
so long.
back on now.
Also, girls, be the first one, like, especially if that man is trustworthy, if you see the Lord leading you to him, be the first one to initiate that location thing, just because it is something that may look controlling to a man and may make the man feel like they're being controlling by asking.
Yeah.
So make that first move. And also, I just wanted to commend his comment because that question he asked, I was like, I think everyone needs a long distance relationship. But then now hearing your insight on that, I see that, yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that. Not everyone is built for it, but for Christians who love the Lord and who are actually looking to crucify that wicked man and not be that secretive, that manipulative person, definitely long distance is such a good thing. So good.
You need to have the same mission objective, because somebody can drag you along and they can be doing their own fleshly mission over here, but pretending like they're on mission to marry you. God will eventually show you the truth about it.
Right.
But it takes a little longer with long distance because you don't see her friends, you don't see how she acts at work. You get her version of every single story. So if she's or he is a liar or somebody who is actually living this life that isn't sowing towards a marriage the way that you are, it's going to take a little longer to be sure. That's why I say, like, if you get a good one long distance, it's great, because there's just less rolls of the dice where me and Mia could find ourselves in a compromised position boundaries wise. But with the wrong person, it's torture, because you don't know where they are. You don't know the nature of their friendships or of their work relationships. You just don't know. And what Mia said was so good about offering up. Part of what honor is I offer up more than you could want to purposely go ahead and try and make you feel as comfortable as possible. Not in an insecure way, but
Not
because
in a manipulative way.
and not in a manipulative way. I'm offering it up to you because I'm like, I want this thing to work and I want to give us the best shot. So let me offer you my location. I'm not even going to ask for yours. I'm going to offer you mine.
And let me ease your anxiety.
And let me ease your anxiety. And if you both do that, if you both focus on making sure the other person feels good about things, you're great. But if you're trying to pry information from them, but you're gatekeeping yours, now neither of you are loving each other. You're really trying to steal from one another.
Very selfish mentality, right?
But yeah, that's basically the type of person who should do long distance and who probably shouldn't. I don't know if you have anything else to add, sweetheart, but it's gone pretty well so far. She's in Florida, I'm in Texas. It's about $100 round trip flight. I go every 2 or 3 months. This is one thing I would say. What I've learned is that actually go and see them decently often, to the point that helps build the relationship, but don't go and see them to the point that is a financial burden, or that you're doing it just because of the warm feelings they give you inside. Every time I've gone to see Mia, it's been a mission trip, because I'm meeting this person, or I'm having this conversation with her dad, or me and her are going to go and do this, or I need to learn this about her. It's been fun and it's been great along the way, and there's been romantic moments. I haven't gone to go and blow her mind with rose petals, because she was my girlfriend and now is my fiance, not my wife.
Right.
So it's like, I'm not going to try and blow her mind with the romance. Let the distance be the distance. God has you at a distance for a reason. Let it be the distance. And if God keeps pushing you all together, then go get married.
So be it.
You know what I'm saying? Then go get
Right.
married.
The long distance really did help with that, because we can just be going on dates every weekend like most people could that are in close proximity. But just not going on those dates, I'm telling you, in relationships where your feelings are heightened all the time, roller coaster, that is very dangerous for your heart, and very dangerous for, like, actually
judgment.
your judgment, just distinguishing between true love and just infatuation.
I'll tell you this, if I want to keep a girl around who I'm doing wrong, I'm going to cover the bed in rose petals. I'm going to drop a lot of money on dinner. And if I can heighten her emotions enough to the point where she says, this is worth it, that's not the kind of man you want. I promise you that.
Right. And Matthew has been like this, like just very steady this whole relationship. And I really, really do appreciate that. I think that even the beginning, and if you guys have watched our video on how we met, the beginning was like that. There was no like, Shawty, you so fine, like, oh, you beautiful, this, that, I'm gonna take you here, I'm gonna do this with you, I'm gonna do all this stuff, like selling me dreams. No, never.
I got 60 years to do all that.
Yeah, now that we're in this stage.
Yeah.
But he didn't sell any dreams to me. He didn't tell me all this stuff. He actually just brought me to the Word and prayer and just asked me a bunch of questions about my faith, and we talked about God. That was like the meat of our conversations, especially the first 3 weeks, and really appreciate that. And I think that, men, that's something that you guys need to look out and do, because I'm telling you, that will bring out the truth of who you're dating as well. The girl that sticks around for that is gonna actually probably be that person.
She cares about the right things. I've said this before, like, people end up being equally yoked. If you gratify the flesh and that's how you keep a woman, you're going to keep a woman and marry a woman who enjoys her flesh being gratified over her soul being edified and nourished.
Right. Speaking from experience, you know.
Yeah, you don't want to be what most young men are and what I was when I was younger than I am now. I'm not boasting out of a place of strength, but rather out of a place of humility and experience. You want to sow into a woman's soul so that the woman who wants you to sow into her flesh, they scatter, and then you're left with the diamond. You're left with the jewel, the gem, who actually cares about real things. And again, this is a longer video that we're going to make about actually not making the dating stage super romantic. It kind of, vends with these long distance relationship talks. But yeah, the long distance relationship, it separates the strong from the weak. It's tough. Right. I'll be missing this girl
we
so
miss
bad.
each other so much.
But luckily, I don't yearn for a sin that I've committed with her. I yearn for
Praise
just
God.
being around her, and
yeah.
Obviously I love seeing her and giving her a hug, and
right.
she smells great and looks great. All of that's true.
But that's better than like if he had been yearning for, like, we had been doing things every time he comes. We just both yearn to grow and build this. Like, I'm telling you, there was a moment in my heart where I was actually like, I'm going to build a life with this man. Like, before I was engaged, I already knew, and he already had made it clear with me that it felt that way. And I looked at him and I was just thinking, like, man, he actually is somebody that God has brought for me. It's not like one size like fits all. Like, you low-key just fit me. Like, it wasn't one size fit all thing. And let's also add, I was on his For You page. So for you.
Yeah, For You weren't lying.
That's for
me right here. That's for me right here. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Make sure to go and look at our other videos, like our proposal video. If you haven't seen that, man, wasn't that a lovely moment, baby?
Yeah, I loved it.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We'll speak to you soon.
Thanks for all the love, guys. Bye.